Love is unconditional, and most of what we got are contracts disguised as loving relationships. In order for the relationship to work at all, you got to have humility. If the relationship is based on ego, it's not a relationship. Ego means you hear me, but I don't have to hear you. When you have one person who has all the power and the other person who does not, where the woman is the slave master and the man is the slave, or the man is the slave master and the woman is the slave. And you've seen these relationships where one person makes all the decisions and have all the power and the other person needs to remain silent unless spoken to. You should not be dating if you have low self-esteem, because people with low self-esteem will always be taken advantage of in the dating arena. And too many men and women are out there looking for their ideal mate, but you don't have the ideal self-esteem in order to engage the type of mate that you want. What type of man you want? What type of queen you want? Is your self-esteem at a level that this type of person will want you? Because you can't hide how you feel about yourself. Once you've been around a queen for a couple weeks, she know how you feel about yourself, just like you know how she feel about herself when you've been around her for a couple weeks. So the role of self-esteem is critical, because as you know, a player, he can read their level of self-esteem. He knows exactly what her thirsty meter is hitting at. And a woman knows exactly what his thirsty meter is hitting at. I got to be humble enough to be quiet when she's wrong, to hear her out. I got to be humble enough to remain quiet while she's expressing her points about me. Everything she just said may be wrong. She may have accused me of cheating. She may have accused me of all kinds of things. This is her truth in this moment. Let her say what she needs to say. When she's done, reflective listening. Baby, you believe the reason I came home at 1 o'clock last night because I was over my baby mom's. Is that how you feel? Do you believe that? Let me try to prove to you that I was not there. The problem with us, most of us was raised by women. We get a little bitchy. So when our queen get bitchy, we want to get bitchy right back. That's not the behavior of a man. That's not masculine. Masculinity says she's in her pain. We get right into defense mode, raised by single mothers. We want to give her back the same energy she giving us. That's a gridlock. We don't move nowhere. You got to have humility. The next thing you got to have, communication. We want our partners to read our minds. If you're in a relationship with a woman who needs you to read her mind, that is an emotionally immature woman and you need to end it. A woman should be able to tell a man what she wants and how she feels. They're afraid of rejection. They don't want to verbalize it because they're afraid it may get rejected. So they would rather you read the mind so they don't have to tell you exactly how they're feeling. In other words, you need to make a decision whether or not you're going to marry me. We've been in this relationship for 3 years. She wants to say it. She ain't got the courage because she's afraid of what your response is. So she's been pouting around the house, acting up like, what's wrong with her? She want to know where this relationship is going, but she's not going to say it because you ain't giving her the confidence to say that. We have to make sure that when we are dating people, we're dating people who mirror our psychological age, because all of us have a biological age. We also have a psychological age. Let's say you 45 years old biologically. Your queen is 45 years old biologically, but she been traumatized, abused, abandoned by her father, emotionally scarred by her mother. Although she's 45 biologically, psychologically, she could be 12. Psychologically, you could be 6. And a big reason why a lot of our relationships don't work out is you got two people who are around the same biological age, but psychologically, they're at two different levels. You're like, damn, why she acting like a child? Why he acting like a child? They are not psychologically where you are. And here's a big problem we have. We think we've met our match when we get into a relationship where we never argue and there's no type of conflict or disagreement. That's a trap. You know why that's a trap? Everybody has a pain body. You got one, I got one, they got one. That is an energy that you carry within your soul. It's a deep part of your unconscious that contains the memory of every negative experience you ever had in your life. From the time you got bullied, your father spanking you in front of your friends, your girlfriend cheating on you, everything you went through negative is in this pain body. Everybody got one. If you've never seen it activated in your queen to be, it ain't time to get married yet, because you have to determine whether or not you can live with her pain body when it gets activated. This is where we date for 5 years and everything been great. We moved in for 1 month. Now we getting a divorce. You know why? Because it's easy to date when y'all don't have to share the same space. Now y'all sharing the same space, and all that she kept hidden in her, or all that you kept hidden in you, now it's going to come out. And do you want to know why? The ego doesn't like to lie. Your ego never wants. When she says, are you cheating on me? You say no if you are. Your ego want to say, yeah, I'm cheating. And I'm going, do you see? The ego doesn't like to lie. 3 things normally force the ego to tear the mask off. Because when we dating each other, we're basically dating the ideal self. We're projecting before the other person. We're not dating who we really are. When you meet somebody, you never tell them, I'm an alcoholic. I have trouble showing up for work at time. I had 10 jobs in the past year. My father left me. You're not telling her none of that. She has to figure out all your flaws on her own, just like you have to figure out all her flaws on your own. That's why we don't trust each other when we begin dating because we both know we got a pain body. We both know we got baggage, and neither person wants to be transparent about what their issues are from the beginning. We force the other person to learn them on their own. So nobody trusts nobody because I know you got in your closet and you ain't giving me none of it. And because I got to study you and I don't know how long I'm gonna have to study you, I'm gonna try to hold my feelings back as much as I can. And for that very same reason, we like to keep something on the side too. Because if this don't work out, I need something else to fall out on. Well, guess what? If you got something on the side, there's no way you can be fully committed to this. How can you fully love if you're too afraid to get hurt? And if you can't fully love because you're too afraid to get hurt, you have no business dating in the first place. Because what you might mistake for love is nothing more than a psychologically unhealthy attachment or addiction for someone else's presence in your life to validate you. And if you don't really understand what love is, oftentimes clinginess, attachment, thirstiness, and addiction is called love, and it's not. Love don't hurt. If it hurts, it has to be trauma. Love is unconditional. If it's conditions on it, it ain't love. It's a contract. And that's okay if both of you agree on those terms. She may agree. We have a pleasure contract. We got an economic contract where you're going to take care of me. And as long as you take care of me, I'm going to be your woman. That works for some people, but that's a contract. That's not love. Contracts are conditional. Right. Love is unconditional. When you love somebody, you are 100% unapologetically and unconditionally committed to that person's best interest, even if it is to your loss. Most of us cannot do that. What we call love is limited to your investment in me. Anytime they step outside of the box we created for them, we get angry because that was not love. You had conditions on it. Your woman gained 20 pounds. Now you're going to divorce her. You say, if you gain another 20 pounds, this marriage is over. That was not love. That was a contract because it had conditions. If I love that woman unconditionally, whether she gained 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, I'm not going nowhere. Now, we might need to have a conversation about her health because I want you around for our children to get married, but there's no such thing as ending a relationship because you stepped outside of my perfect box. Love is unconditional, and most of what we got are contracts disguised as loving relationships.